Anyway, let's move on to something different.
All right.
Do you allow take-backs in your board gaming experiences?
Never.
No. Oh, he's a rules lawyer.
No. No. I think it all depends on, if it's a new player, obviously you don't want to bust their balls and just make the experience miserable to them. So you allow some take-backs. Now, after 4 times, it might be, look, man, we've done explain this to you, several times. You ought to have this down by now. The only time I'm kind of like, if you elicit any kind of response that reveals information that wouldn't have otherwise been known, like maybe you got some kind of card that like cancels an action. Well, they took an action they couldn't take anyways. And maybe you didn't catch that. Now they know you got a card that now everybody knows you got something that's going to cancel an action, or just something that will reveal maybe a response card that you accidentally used when maybe you shouldn't have, Yeah,
I think you can approach this 2 different ways. If it was a mistake, you almost have to take it back just so you don't do anything that's going to break the game.
Right.
Right. I don't really consider that a take back, I guess, but you do need to let them take it back because it's like, I mean, if it's something silly, but they might have that one item that they need in order to complete this one thing that they need that was 10 times more than what you were doing.
Right.
And it was the last round of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Mistakes are a different thing, but let's just say honest takebacks. Like, okay, well, I'm going to move my 3 guys over here and I'm going to move them over here. And then I'm going to do this. And you're like, well, if I would have moved him over here instead, actually next round would be a better setup for next round. I got lots of gas apparently in my Kool-Aid does that.
Yes.
Anyway, so I feel like for the most part, I'm okay with it as long as 2 things. One, it couldn't have been, like you said, like revealing information. Like if you drew cards and you read those cards, and you're like, oh, I should have moved my guys over here.
Oh, I didn't mean to draw these cards. Let me put these back and move my guys instead.
Yeah, no. If you rolled some dice and did not get, I don't even care if you got good results and you're like, you know what? I really didn't want to do this round. I don't know why I did that. Well, look, you rolled the dice because you could have said the same thing either way.
Right.
Right. Or, well, I guess in this case, I just said that you rolled something good and wanted to take it back. But stick with what you do. If it's a randomness thing and it happens, you need to stick with it.
Right.
Just stop that. But at the same time, I think that takebacks, especially in first plays of games, helps develop better skill sets for gamers because you don't learn, like learning by mistakes are fine, or learning by being beaten down because you made mistakes or didn't make the most optimal move. That develops good play and stuff. But at least for our gaming group, we don't play the same game tens of times.
That's true.
And so like, I want to get the best experience the first time I play it. And so if the best experience kind of, early on in the game is to let you take something back so you can not basically do terrible for the next 3 rounds.
Right.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But let's move on to a different way of takebacks, and that's super competitive games, right? Specifically one-on-one games, like the World of Warcraft TCG or Magic the Gathering, things like that.
Oh, well.
Let's take it out of tournament context, because I think in a tournament context, even though I play War Machine and I've let people take things back, and I've been told many times that I'm the nicest player ever in a tournament, and I do well. I'd probably do better if I was like a rules lawyer on them, because I'm kind of a rules lawyer, but I don't really apply it in a mean way. I just apply it as this is how it's written.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. But in a competitive game that's specifically a one-on-one game, I guess if you're playing casually, it's a different thing if you're trying to test out a deck or whatever. But if you go and meet somebody and you're playing casually at a game shop, like, would you allow takebacks in that case?
I mean, if it's a casual thing, I don't see why not. And unless, again, like, did I respond to that action and try and stop you? I mean, no, it's stopping then. I mean, you just saw that I've got a card that I can do that with, so it's getting used now.
Yeah.
In that sense. Or, I mean, if they make a gameplay error, obviously you're not going to let them, get something more than what they should have.
Yeah, I think we probably limit this conversation to honest takebacks.
Yeah.
Like, I did something right. There was no rules being broken, but if I took it back right now, then I could do better later on. Those type of things. If it was a mistake, like, I'm going to draw these 3 cards. Oh, well, that only allows you to draw 1 unless you played a blue with it as well. Stuff like that. Like, that's totally different. That's just a mistake, and it was an oversight, hopefully. Right. But, honest takebacks just from people, trying to make them better move that turn rather than realizing it next turn and being really screwed.
Right. And, and also, I think, I don't know, is a take back the same as a rewind?
I guess it's the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess rewinds usually happen whenever something chaotically happened in the rules, like breaking the time-space continuum of a game.
Right.
And it's like, okay, you know what? We're starting this round over because we messed up like 5 times in a row.
Right. Yeah. So, well, like I said, you can make an error though, and maybe something happened over time, and then you're like, oh, we shouldn't have been doing that.
At some point, you just put an asterisk on that.
Exactly.
And move on. Just finish the game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times everybody benefited from whatever mistake it was, or everybody took the same detriment.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. So it's kind of like we all screwed up together. So
yeah,
it's not that big of a deal.
Closing thoughts. I think that I'm cool with takebacks, but it does have diminishing returns, and it's a no-no in competitive environments.
Oh, definitely in competitive. Yes.
Yeah. So, any last things on that?
No. Good.
We're good.
Got it.